Today you're going to learn a short lesson on algebraic properties. We're going to start off with looking at the properties of equalities. We have addition property of equality. That's when you're adding the same number to both sides of the equation. For example, in this one-step equation, in order to solve for the variable x, you would add 7 to both sides. So when we're doing this, we're using the addition property of equality. Subtraction property of equality is similar. It's when you're subtracting the same number on both sides of the equation. So if you look at the example, x plus 7 equals 14. To solve it, you would have to subtract 7 on both sides. So that is using the subtraction property of equality. Multiplication property of equality means that you would have to multiply both sides by the same number. For example, in this equation, you would have to multiply both sides by 7. And then lastly, the division property of equality is when we divide both sides by the same number to get rid of a number on the side with the variable. So those are the first few properties of equalities. The next three algebraic properties are the commutative property, and you can use the word commute to help you remember. The commutative property is when you change the order. When you're commuting back and forth to school, you're traveling or you're moving from place to place. So if you look at the examples, you can notice that we're changing the way in which we're adding 2 and 7. And then we're changing the way in which we're multiplying 2 and 7. So we're changing their order. And you would still get the same number if you did that. Associative property, you could think of your friends, your associates. When you think of the associative property, is when you're changing the grouping of numbers. And we group numbers by using parentheses. So you can see here, we're changing the grouping by first grouping 2 and 7, and then grouping 7 plus 3. We're changing the grouping here by grouping 2 times 3, and then changing it to grouping 7 times 3. And then you have the distributive property. You can think of when you distribute something, that means you're giving it to all. That's when you're multiplying the number on the outside of the parentheses by what's on the inside of the parentheses. So, for example, when we have 2 parentheses x plus 7, that means you do 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times 7, which is 14. And that is using a distributive property. The next two algebraic properties are called the identity property. You can think of your identity. It never changes. So when we're talking about identity property in math, we're thinking of what can you do to a number that will not change it. Well, adding 0 will never change the value of a number. So -1 plus 0 equals -1. Multiplying by 1 will also not change the value of a number. So 1 times -3 gives you -3. And then we have the inverse property. That's when you're adding opposites and you get 0. So +2 plus -2, those are opposites. So when I add them, I get 0. Or when you multiply by reciprocals, 1 over 2 is the reciprocal of 2 over 1. So if I multiply them, I get a 1. So inverse, you can think of the word opposite, reciprocal. All that is flipping the fraction. Another property we need to notice is called the multiplicative property of 0, and it's pretty straightforward. It means when you multiply by 0, and we all know what happens when you multiply by 0, it makes it disappear. You end up with 0. So 0 times 7 equals 0. Any number times 0 will give you 0. And then the final two properties that we use a lot when we're solving equations is called the reflexive property. You can think of your reflection as saying that it's equals to itself. Any value is equals to itself. So 3 equals 3, or 4 equals 4, or x equals x. Symmetric is another one that we use a lot with solving equations. You can think of the word symmetry. That's when you're reversing the equation. So if you end up with x equals 2, that's the same as 2 equals x. Today during class, you are to finish these two equation mazes, and I'll get you started with how you would do this. You'll start in the box that is labeled start, and you should make your way to the finish line. In this maze, this one-step equation maze, you should only have to solve a total of 9 questions. That is, if you solve them correctly and find the correct answer. You should only have to solve 9 questions to get from start to finish. So you would have to show your work. You want to go ahead and draw your line where the equal sign is. Look on the side with the variable. You do the opposite of what you see. Using those properties that we just went over, you would subtract on both sides, cross out what goes away, and then type in your answer. You get a 6. I see that answer right here. I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to move down to solve this one. Okay, then you'll solve that one, and you should find your answer. It either should be 10 or 2. And based off of what the answer is, that's which one you circle, and you'll move in that direction. And then you'll solve that new equation. And then you'll see the answers, whichever, answer it is. It has to be on the outside of those boxes, and you'll circle that answer and move on. So again, there are a total of 9 equations that you will have to solve if you solve them correctly to make your way from start to finish. All right, the two-step equation, same way. I think there's about 11 or 12 that you would have to solve, and you want to show your work. So let me get you started with a few of these. Okay, so this is two-step equation. So there's 2 things you have to do to solve. So on this first one, you have to subtract 10 on both sides first. Mark out what you're left with, and you get negative 36. And then your final step is to divide by 4, and you get your answer. It'll be a negative 9. Be careful because you see how they have both a positive and a negative. We need to make sure we go this way. So then now we're going to solve this one. I'm going to go ahead and solve this one because, so subtract 13 is your first step. ½ x equals negative 4. And then this is the reciprocal. You multiply by the reciprocal to get rid of those fractions. So it kind of marks it out. And then you get a negative 8. And so we find the negative 8. There it is. And so I move on to that box. Okay? I'll do one more with you. So you subtract 10. Mark it out. This is the one that tricks a lot of people because it's already showing division, so you don't want to confuse it when you're solving. Make sure that you actually multiply by 3 on both sides so that it goes away and you have your answer. Now, what happens if you don't see your answer? That means you did something wrong because the answer should be somewhere around the box on both of these. So you'll answer as many as you can. I'm going to create like a quizzes to go along with this so it can kind of guide you through it just in case you don't quite remember the steps to solve these. I don't want you to get them wrong. And so go ahead. You'll be able to go to the quizzes from the class agenda that will help you along the way as you're solving through these so that you can make it from start to finish.